One final series to determine our results for today here for the VR League for Echo Arena, the Invitational, of course. And to my left-hand side, don't know what they're doing. I've not been looking at them this whole time. We have Jason and we have Blue as well. Boys,
hey,
how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Fantastic. How about yourself?
We just got off of one of our best matches of Echo Arena ever.
We did. It was great.
We're doing pretty good because of that.
I realized that, the host always asks how everyone's doing, but no one ever asks how the host is doing. So, James, how are you doing?
Nobody cares what the host is doing. We're soulless robots, especially because I'm ginger, so it's...
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Oh.
Got dark really quickly.
It's just true. But regardless, of course, we're going to be moving on to our next match here. Going to be Blast going up against their opponents, Gravity, on the other side here. So who wins, Explosions or the power of Mother Nature?
Is gravity a force of nature?
Yes. It is. It's a naturally occurring
But
force.
like, is space nature? Because I would put gravity in the space category.
Yeah. It's a natural occurrence and thus gravity.
Okay.
There you go.
Really interesting. Dark matter and dark energy.
Are you really? No.
Who's going to win this one? You got that #1 seed team from EU. You got Blast up against Gravity, who haven't looked great today, but they are the #2 team in seeding coming from EU. So #1 versus 2, I think they're going to be very familiar with each other.
Do you feel like Gravity kind of, you said they didn't look that great. I think that last series, though, they looked far more confident. It looked like they kind of gathered a bit more steam against Boost.
Yeah, but they were also against a team who hasn't really shown...
Sure.
They're basically the problem is they're basically against #8 seed in that most recent game.
Right.
So take that for what you will.
I'm happy for you to argue with me on this point because I thought they looked fine. But when it came to that,
they did really good in their previous game,
Sure.
in my opinion. The thing is you have to.
I
you have to scale it.
I will disagree. I will disagree with that. I will be that man. I think they didn't do great, Gravity, because they were just always outmaneuvering Boost, which you can argue, well, does that mean they're great? No, I think it just means Boost isn't as experienced as a lot of the other teams we've seen.
Yeah.
And that Gravity were just like not being punished for things that they should.
Yeah, no. I would agree with that, and that was the point I was going to lead into. Is they did do good, but you have to
here, guys.
you have to keep it on a certain level though because of who they beat is what I was going to say, which again kind of goes back to your point.
Right.
Well, let's hear from them. It's Blast.
I've been playing games for years and years. And I started watching YouTube videos of all these VR games. Then I started playing Echo Arena, their beta. After that, I just couldn't play any other games. That was the only one I started playing. It's the teamwork on it. It's the socialising on the game, and it feels a lot more natural playing VR. Like, it feels like you're actually in the game opposed to just looking at a screen and using your mouse and keyboard.
I wasn't much of a gamer, but I did play a lot of sports when I was younger. Pretty much the first true esports game. And then it's got the elements of gaming and also the actual physicality of real sports.
To stay ahead of the opposition, you have to constantly practice as much as possible. You have to play with all the top players of the game and just more practice.
I'm not really worried about any particular team. I think in terms of individual skill, there's not really a team that stands out more than, much more than ours does. Of the European teams, we are probably the least predictable since we have the most varied play style. Everybody else tends to play one way and we're trying to play a different way.
I think we definitely have what it takes to take the first place. I don't think there's any other teams that are far above us.
And that's Team Blast, a team that we weren't at all talking about before.
So let's talk about them now while we're looking at Gravity.
No, absolutely not. We're not reversing the polls here. But looking at Gravity, of course, we were talking about them. And they're a team that, again, for me, against Boost, yes, they were outmaneuvering them pretty handedly. And yes, they were going up against a lower seeded team. But just in general, I feel that the fundamentals were better there in that series than the previous series. So, coming into this one, do we level up again? Is it level 3 Gravity? What's going on?
I think that's possible. I think that's a very plausible theory right there. The thing is whether we're going to see that or not, obviously, because again, you have to kind of weigh their previous match fairly given their competition there. But I feel like that was still a much better performance, as you were saying, based on their first match. So I do feel like there's definitely room for them to take this match as well.
The problem is, though, Gravity depends on the size of the mass of the object that you're around. And unfortunately for them, they're still playing on Earth, so I don't think they're going to level up and get stronger. We're not playing on Jupiter right now. That's a terrible pun. I still say that the level opponent they were playing before a Boost is way different than the level of opponent that they were playing before earlier on today against Metamercs. I think Metamercs would slaughter Boost, and again, from results and what we've seen, I think the team they were just playing just like didn't have the fundamentals down in the team aspect. They had the individual skill boost, but they didn't have the team play down. I think Gravity just took advantage of it.
And most importantly, you can't stand on Jupiter because it's a gaseous planet. But regardless, let's hear from Gravity.
The big draw factor for VR and VR esports like Echo Arena is that it's more like a sport than it is a game.
Started playing and I got into Echo Arena as my second game. Since then I just stick with this game. I love this game. It's just awesome. It's like unique.
It's that realization period of treating it like you would a real sport and just understanding the game, and it's kind of having to bring those elements of physicality into it.
It took me like 2 weeks to get down the movement, like the feeling of not playing with a keyboard anymore and with a mouse. And a couple of more months to get like into Echo Arena itself with the shooting, with moving around in zero gravity. And also obviously as I'm playing Echo Arena, I'm looking forward to see Echo Combat in the next months.
I think for us, we want to play Eclipse again. We've got a little bit of history with them from earlier this year.
And also I'm looking forward to play the EO Team Blast, which is like still a new team.
We've been looking at in-depth gameplay a lot.
We are really having fun into rewatching every video, every game multiple times.
Going through play-by-plays and then trying to pick out potential counters. We have a couple of strategies that we have saved for this event. Looking forward to hopefully getting to show those. So our team chemistry is quite interesting. We've got Martin, who's the strategist, and we've got Viatrex, who basically bounces off the wall like a crazy person. But he's also a really competent player across the pitch.
I feel like the more pressure I have, the better I play.
Even if it's not us, getting to that final match and just having that buzz and the hype, for me, that's I'm looking forward to that more than I am nervous about playing, really. For us, it's going to come down a lot to how our strategies perform. I think we do have what it takes to take it home.
Let's see if they can here. Team Gravity led by VR Jersey himself. And overall, yeah, good stuff from them. Viatrex, though, is a player that also stands out for me. I think he's one of their good guys.
I just want to say that like the team photos we have for all of the teams here, the player photos for all the teams, they're just like fantastic. They look great. Lighting's perfect, and I think this is one of the most handsome teams we have here on stage.
Oh, well, okay. Blue, what do you think?
I don't know how to respond to that, to be honest with you.
Do you agree? Do you think they're most handsome team? No.
You can talk about completely other things if you want.
Problem is, it's hard to tell when they're all just have VR in front of their face, so I feel like a face is a large part of it. So
that's why, that's why the photos. Okay, so let's go down to brass predictions here, because I want to say it. I think Blast is gonna take this 2-0.
Okay.
Okay, I think Blast will take it, but I think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be competitive, and there's room for Gravity to take it too. So let's see.
Find out. Yes, it's time for the game. The last series of the day. Blast goes against Gravity.
All right, and we are going to see if the power of Blast is going to be enough to escape Gravity as we get into this game now and get to see.
I leave the puns to James.
No, okay, come on, that was pretty good. Give me a little bit of credit.
Oh, Viatrex, he has an open shot.
Oh, it's a ding, I think, though. It's just off the mark, so sadly it's going to be a miss. Gravity, they've got another run in it. They can make a pass. I like this, a bounce pass. In fact, this is going to let him get a little bit closer, but it's stolen at the last second by Blast. They'll be able to escape, sending it back over to the midfield. Immediately, though, Gravity slingshot to the other side, so they should be good to return this to the mid themselves.
Keep in mind, Blast hasn't played in... Well, Blast played the initial game today and lost, or the initial match on stream and then lost it, and then they've been just waiting around the rest of the day. So they're going to be a little bit rusty here, a little bit cold. So I think they're going to definitely warm up as the match continues to go on here. They actually get a nice clear with a nice punch coming through. And again, Boop and Lone Gecko getting boosted up. Boop's actually, oh, okay, he shoots it a little bit high. That's why Lone Gecko goes for the close shots and Boop goes for the long range ones.
So we are going to see a little bit of a volley exchange going out here for control over the disc. So will be an opportunity presented to Blast, and they shall take it. Blast will sink themselves a two-pointer, being scored by Boop, of course, and this will put them ahead early on in the match.
Yeah, well done by them. Again, that should have been a three-pointer. Lone Gecko, unfortunately, just missing that initial shot. And then again, we did see Viatrex have an opportunity for 3 points himself, so he's definitely going to be kicking himself and hopefully not getting his head too much. You know, you have mistakes like that happen. You don't want to let that haunt you for the rest of the match here, and hopefully you can just kind of shrug that off and come to this one with a new vision, new look on it.
So Gravity will get initial possession here to start things off. We'll see how their formation goes. Probably just the usual three-man fork, which is exactly what we see. They'll pick it up nice and quick. Send it away here too. But wow, that's a great chase onto the disc actually.
Yeah, they're literally just sticking together and chasing the disc every time. Boop and Lone Gecko, and they have Affentera sitting back. You have Lone Gecko pushed up here. Has a potential shot. Boop, gonna actually pass that one over. It's gonna be a 2-on-3, and he goes for the shot. He actually dings it, but it works out in his favor, and someone call him Team Rocket because they're blasting off again.
There we go for Blast. Perfectly scored as well. Bouncing it off, it's a miss, but it's an immediate rescore as well here. Lone Gecko being the one to attempt to go for it, and he's also the one that catches it once more and dings it in anyway.
What are the chances that was intentional?
Probably pretty low, to be honest.
I wonder, like, if they're actually like that like proactive and like, okay, he's probably gonna block this. Let me just ding it off so he actually lets his defenses down. Like, oh, they missed it, haha, and then he actually grab it and throw it back in. That'd be great. That was intentional.
I feel like that's where like you're thinking about it. It's like, yeah, but there's also like a massive risk on that one.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Definitely reaching a bit.
Okay, Martin, he's actually trying to play them. Look at that. Look at how fast they get around. They actually outpace the disc, and they meet the person that was passed to at the exact same time and get the punch off. That is so dangerous. How do you stop that if you're Gravity?
We got to up the arm strength a little bit there, apparently, and then try to throw the disc a little bit quicker. As we are going to see as well, Lone Gecko just absolutely swamping Jersey, taking him out with a quick little wraparound to stun him.
Ooh!
Oh, and that almost goes in right there. Just barely dings off of the edge. And now we're going to see them make an attempt to actually score as they'll move in, and I think that's a bounce off the backboard to score it for these guys, and it's a 3-pointer this time, so they've got a 7-0 lead over Gravity.
Well, clearly we are finding out that Blasting is able to escape the control and the hold of Gravity at the moment. I still just want to point out one thing, though. Like, whenever we see, just watch it here yet again. Watch Lone Gecko and Boop. Watch how fast they get across the arena and how much pressure they apply to every disc carrier that Gravity is able to get it to. Like, you just know. The thing is, when it gets passed to you, you see them coming at you because obviously you want to see the disc, coming at you. But then you see two players directly in your face. Look at this. They actually grab it before it even gets to their opponent.
They are so good at re-grabbing and keeping that momentum going that they can literally change directions on a dime and still keep it going. That takes some synergy and a lot of training right there. So that you have to give props to that duo that they can do that so efficiently and without messing it up as well. I don't think I've seen them mess it up at all, and there's a very high chance you can do that. Gravity, though, making an attempt at the goal here, but it's not going to prove easy. The entire setup is here for Blast right now, so they easily block it, send it back to the midfield. Gravity's got a bit of speed going this time too, however, so they'll quickly retrieve it and try to take it back over to the other side themselves.
What's dangerous to me is that Affentera just sits back while Boop and Lone Gecko just push him with 2, but when Gravity even pushes him with 3 players, they still can't get a real shot on the goal. Like, that just shows how much confidence Affentera has in his two teammates, but more importantly, just like how confident Blast are in general.
Gonna get punched out there, so gives Lone Gecko an opportunity for control. He's going to have to wait a few moments here, though, and try to hold on to control himself as his teammates aren't here just yet. Bit of a pass to the backside. Affentera adjusts, though. Is still able to pick it up over to Boop, and right inside above the goalie's head there to score now 9 points for Blast. Gravity still sadly yet to gain anything at all here.
Yeah, I think they need some sort of response to this 2-man squad of Lone Gecko and Boop. They need to have some sort of answer to this because it's walking all over them. How quick they are getting around the arena, how much pressure they're applying to the disc. I feel like you need to see like some really good like blocking and then counter punching right after that for Martin here. When he does have the initial pickup on the disc, because he's just being overwhelmed.
I feel like it's so hard to keep track of it though when they're getting stunned or when they're coming up to you that quickly. You're not going to be able to know the direction they're moving at you, or even if they're going to attempt to stun you. So I feel like that's the hardest part, is they just can't even figure out how to stun them, let alone actually do the job of it.
I like how they throw the disc ahead of them because they want to keep daisy chain and slingshotting across the arena.
You kind of have to do this as well because the disc puts like an artificial speed limit on you. So sadly, you're going to be limited pretty heavily by that. But Blast, now just having fun with it as well. Quick sink and a one-on-one there from Affentera puts Blast up to 11 now. We still have a minute and a half left.
I mean, Gravity, they're the number 2 seed from Europe. Blast, number 1. We look at NA with Eclipse at 11.5, and honestly, it seems like the top 2 teams from each region are just on a different level at this rate. We haven't got to cast Europe much, unfortunately. We did the North American Stage 2 finals just this last Sunday. But definitely we should keep an eye on Europe more. Hopefully get some of those shows in, because Europe is showing they're definitely a force to reckon with.
Comes launch once again. Control once more going over to Blast, but you know you were going to see it, or excuse me, no, Gravity picking up control. Just like there, but anyway.
They switched it up, did you notice? Boop didn't continue to go with Lone Gecko. He shot him off in one direction, Boop went to another to kind of like cut off their angles, and that's going to be Boop with another quick, easy goal. Blast 13-0. This is coming into one of the biggest leads we've had so far today.
And again, pretty much nothing that Martin can do to defend against that. Sadly, it's not really his fault. He's in a 2v1. He has to keep eyes on both players, so it's very easy to sneak past the goalie at that point when you have multiple players to deal with, especially if they're further away, because it's going to be a little bit unpredictable about what they're going to do.
All right, so going into the next possession here, a minute 15 remaining. I don't want to count Gravity out just yet from this round, but I think they need to take this time and just figure out, like, all right, guys, what are they doing? What do we need to do to fix it? I think it's almost like certain that Blast will win this one, especially the way they've been playing. And they need to just look into this next round, like, how can we improve on this? What are we doing wrong? What are they doing right? And how can we just do something to stop this aggressive play style that they're throwing at us?
This is going to be a little bit of a scrap here between the two teams. Oh, this is a race now, but once again, to no surprise of myself, Blast are going to win that race with the two-man team they have and take back possession here. Now just pretty much wasting time as well.
And again, the disc up to Affentary is allowed to play aggressive. Goes for the long shot.
And it's in.
Kobe. Affentary from 33 meters away. Takes him up to 16 now with 39 seconds to go.
And this is, again, then look at this as well. Affentary literally just sits here in the middle for like 2 or 3 seconds before finally throwing it in because he realizes VR Jersey's out of position. And there's nothing VR Jersey can do because he's that far back. He doesn't have a teammate next to him. You see there's an attempt to quickly launch back and stop it or outpace the disc. But
it's possession time, though. It's dead even, 152 to 153, but the score is so different.
Yeah, I think the only reason possession is close to my eyes is because Gravity keeps getting opening possession here.
So I think what we're seeing Blast do right now is exactly what Gravity did to Boost. They're just outmaneuvering them. Like constantly. They're just doing that. They're hitting their shots. Another three-pointer comes in. Actually, this time to hit the force field in front. But they're just outmaneuvering them for the most part. Again, the slingshots have been so stupendous. They've been able to count on Affentary to play the anchor role for the team. They're going to have a chance here to potentially look for a shot. But no, Boop's going to be there yet again with Affentary this time. And I like to see that Boop and Affentary can move the same speed that Boop and Lone Gecko can. So you know that they've all practiced this kind of style together.
Yeah, and it's just the constant regrabs as well, which is giving them so much prowess. Finally, there is a goal scored by Gravity. Sadly, it's going to be too little too late here. It's only 3 points. They still need 13 more, and there's only 3.4 seconds left in the round. So I think you guys at home can do the math on that one.
Yeah, we can't do it on air because whenever we try to, we end up messing up numbers. How could you mess up addition? 5 plus 6 is easily 11. Yeah, but when you're on air and people are watching you, you kind of forget how to do simple things like math or, drink or breathe.
Well, I don't have trouble breathing, but...
All right, this isn't a judgmental zone, Blue.
Speak for yourself there. And there we go, yep. Blast will take dominant control of the opening round of the series here. 16-3 being our final score. Gravity gonna have to quickly look to recover, otherwise it could be a quick trip home for them. And the guys on Blast quickly moving forward into the next stage of the event.
And as Kalaris did mention earlier on, this is a very important match, not just for the fact that you lose, you're out. You win, you're in the money.
Pretty much.
And that's so important for all these players here. We've actually had a couple of teams, say earlier on, like this is, playing here in this invitational and like getting top 4 and earning money off this just kind of rewards them and reinforces the idea that they can make this a real thing for them. They can really start to push this and try to win the big bucks when we get into Oculus Connect later on in the year.
So guys, second round will be getting started here in a second. You can see on those little screens right there, we've already got the players. I think the round's already started. So here we go, a 10-second countdown before we have the joust. And we'll get to see probably a good bet that Blast is going to be able to win the opening joust here, but we'll see how it pans out.
I would see it to be difficult to not. Actually, that's going to
Gravity
be
won it,
7 Jersey.
Yeah.
Gets for the quick push, knocks them away. Nitrix now. He had an opportunity for an early three-pointer in the last match. He's going to actually pass it off this time, but gets blocked out. Affentary pushes out aggressively. Does block the disc for now. Now Vitrix coming back in, maybe looking for a pass, maybe looking for a shot. Looking at Gravity on the board here within the first minute.
We're going to see as well. Martin the third trying to get a nice pass over on a VH. They just can't get access to the actual goal is the problem here now. As there's just so much pressure from Blast on top of it, they can't find an open opportunity to actually sink the disc in here. So we can see once again Martin looking for a pass opportunity, but they're going to pounce on him. They use that as a chance to score. Well, look at that from Lone Gecko. What a save. And he'll finally send it and a block as well to punch out Viatrex there. Or excuse me, I think it was Martin.
Great little. Oh, they actually there on a 2-on-2 now. Can go for the shot after it gets a punch. Or looks for the punch. Remember, the punch into the three-pointer would be nice. After it goes for the dunk, but that's going to be a block out. Martin, great job by him to play defensively. Now the disc going to be on the side of Blast in the arena. Yeah, look how quickly they're back. It should be them all regrouped and ready to go.
I think there was an accidental grab of one of the islands there, which messed up Gravity's launch to the other side. Although, look at that. That's a dirty little punch right there from Martin, but it's not going to accomplish much. They still have the disc on their side of the arena right now, but Viatrex will attempt to handle that. Sends it back the other direction. We need someone to secure it, though, because otherwise you can see it right here now. Affenterra is just going to pick it up, send it right back the other way.
He doesn't get the clear he was looking for. Again, all three members of Gravity are grouped up here. They're not able to split. They're not able to depend on that one player to get there in time because the amount of punching that's been going on, so they can have proper lanes to use and proper angles to pass off with. Boop going from downtown. He gets the score. Of course, it's going to be him with a three-pointer. Minute and 38 in. That was one of the longer goals we've seen so far today, and in this matchup in particular. But Blast still looking good.
Gravity doing a good job of keeping the pressure on there, at least. There was a lot of close calls to them. We definitely should have seen Gravity score at some point in this volley, however, so I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't get to see that. But at the same time, Blast, and specifically Lone Gecko, with so many close calls on the saves right there. So you can't necessarily fault Gravity when Blast have been doing such a great job on defense.
Second round in a row that Blaster behind in stuns and yet winning in the game. Again, I think that shows they're not really being very bruisery. They're not trying to battle out like that. They're just more inclined. Oh my gosh, they could potentially have stolen that. They're just more about getting quick goals and just scoring and outmaneuvering and using that synergy between Boop and Lone Gecko to their best advantage. Gravity now with the potential opportunity. Again, the disc does get away from them. Doesn't matter. It looks like the rest of Blast have been able to get here in time. Jersey looking for a sneaky play. Doesn't have the arm length, the wingspan to go. Actually, no, he does get the steal away. Gets a punch, and I think Lone Gecko is able to pull something off. Viatrex looking for a shot here. Affenterra is not going to block it, and there we go. Gravity, they're on the board. Much closer match than we had in the first round.
Got a little bit of a game here going now as there's a mistake made from Blast. I think it was Lone Gecko. Yep, we can see it right here on the retreat. Gets it stolen away from by VR Jersey. A pass over to his teammate, and the pressure against the goalie is enough to cause confusion and let him get a close range sink for a two-pointer. Is the two-pointer, though, so they are still behind, sadly, against Blast. But now we've got a real game on our hands here.
We finally get to see Blast be the ones to use the initial volley with the disc on their side. 2:50 left. Gravity, if this is going to be their stand, if this is going to be their story being written in the books of their big comeback, they're going to need to score at least one more goal to make this happen. And Lone Gecko, he's in a one-on-one, and that's going to be able to turn it back into a three-point lead.
It's going to 1v1 being successful for Blast on the offense, so they get themselves a quick two-pointer to reaffirm that lead. Keeping Gravity in the dust right now. Blast shooting off lead and potentially eliminating Gravity.
Shooting off again.
I wanted to say blasting off, but I feel like that would have been too.
I already used it too.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, it's good then.
Well, I think I was doing the yeah moment, doing like the Tiger Woods almost. Here we go. Gravity back on the control, and Martin gonna be the one to pick this up. Look how aggressive Jersey is. He's actually wide open for a pass, but the problem is
oh my
they don't get the disc disabled or thrown away in time, and Affenterra just comes in with a three-man push, gets the punch in, gets the disc, and gets the score.
And after they scored, Lone Gecko comes in, just pulls the corpse of Martin's stunned robot a little bit further away from the goal as well. This is so dirty from Affenterra. There's just so much quick movement from Blast, and they can't keep up with it.
The downside is that they did have Jersey like wide open. If they could have just gotten the pass there. The problem is that we've seen Gravity try to pass it downfield, but because Blast are so quick with the slingshots, they actually outpace the speed of the disc most of the time. So they wouldn't have been able to throw it that deep anyways, I would assume. And that still would have been Blast, with potential score. Again, look how aggressive they are. There's no one in the goal.
Look, he could just did a 360, I think.
320 or 720 no scope right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
11-2.
So this is again just demonstrating the power of regrabs. This is what makes that two-man team so powerful as a regrab. For those of you folks at home that are newer to the game, a regrab is essentially see, I told you. A regrab is essentially, again, when basically you launch off of one of your teammates, you have about, when you initially do it, I think it's about a half second, where the player in the back can regrab the guy who just got launched. And you can just continuously do that back and forth between the two of you and build up speed pretty much endlessly.
Well, yeah. Except, you're limited by the size of the arena. If the arena was really long, you could be going so fast. That'd be actually pretty crazy to see.
It'd be cool because there's a nice lobby for when you're not in these games for players to mess around and talk to each other in. It'd be cool if someone, as we do see Gravity sneaking in a nice little cheeky goal for themselves there. Still a little bit of a ways to go, but they're getting back into it. But anyway, it'd be nice if they put like a super long tube in that room so that you could try to practice that with teammates.
That would be good. That would definitely be good. Well, Gravity is able to get another 3 points on the board. It's a start. We can't count them out just yet. It is a start. They're only down by 6. But shots like that being given to them have not happened often during this entire best of 3. And they're definitely going to be happy about that one. But they got to do it again. They got to replicate the success over and over and over again. them to even getting close to tying things up.
Quick pass initially over to Boop. It's going to be a little bit slower movement this time for Blast. They are limited by the speed of the disc. As well, they're keeping their players together and stunning out Gravity for the most part. Viatrex a nice dodge, and as well is going to be able to stun out the carrier, giving control over to Gravity and letting Viatrex make a little bit of a run here. Possible three-pointer. No! It's grabbed out of the air by Boop. It's an attempt to steal it back by VR Jersey, but it's unsuccessful.
I want to be honest, I think that was going to ding anyways. I don't think that was actually going to go in, but a great little hustle out of Blast to get their time, especially Boop. This little throw in towards the high-end side. Looking for that potential shot, but he's got Affentair, who's a real beast in the goal to really contend with here. Viatrex now being passed up. He's got Jersey off towards the left-hand side. Going to go for the pass towards him, looking for the crossover. Those are right over Gecko's head, but they get interrupted by Boop coming in. They get punched out, and the disc has been cleared.
So we're going to see now, it's going to be a little bit of a scramble as the disc does get sent into the open. Not necessarily a pass towards either team, but Blast are able to recover it. A minute and 11 seconds left. Gravity cannot afford another goal against them right now, but they might have to deal with one anyway. However, all of a sudden, two players from Gravity move in, stun out the attempted goal attempt there from Blast. This is going to let Gravity try to send their players back to the other side. This could be an opportunity for them. It should be an easy goal, and there we go. Another 2 points. Would have liked to see a three-pointer there, I imagine, but it'll at least allow them to draw a little bit closer.
Yeah, take what you can get here. Lone Gecko was actually almost able to block that. He actually was too fast, funny enough. Watch. He'll be too fast. He gets there a little bit too early to block that goal, but that would have been phenomenal if he was able to pull it off, similar to what we saw Witt do earlier today. But here we go. 11-7. 54 seconds left. Everyone on the board in points so far in this game. Gravity still have a lot of work to do. They've had to really struggle for almost every single point they have been able to get, except that one open three-pointer they had.
Nice quick adjustment there from Viatrex and VR Jersey as they needed the two-man regrab team to try and take control of the disc, and they'll be able to do just that, moving very quickly up. They've only really got the goalie to deal with, so another two-pointer secured by them. They do that one more time, and they've got this tied up, and we may be looking at overtime. Or score a three-pointer and outright take the round.
I'm not sure what's happening here. I mean, just look on the screen. Actually, no. Yeah, look at the screen. Like, I think Affentair missed the push. He tried to go back to his teammates to help get them back in time to slingshot him in. So he played it smart, but I'm not sure what's going on. But either way, go ahead.
I think Martin interrupted the slingshot because Martin was in that little clump of players there. So I would assume he stunned at least one of them and stopped the slingshot from happening.
Well, speaking of stuns, this is the first time we've seen Blast actually ahead in stuns. Usually it's been Gravity the one to do that because Blast have been just playing really aggressive and really fast-paced without the need or the necessity of doing that. Looks like, again, Gravity have adapted their style. They started to clump up a little bit more to make sure the shots work. They actually get ahead of the defense. Boop isn't going to be there again, and that's going to tie things up. What is going on? Gravity, they're coming back into this match.
All of a sudden, Gravity seemed to have stolen the lightning in a bottle that Blast seemed to have with their two-man regrab team, and it's Gravity doing all of the work now as Viatrex and VR Jersey 2 times in a row have completely escaped, and they've just left Martin behind to run interference, which both times has stopped a successful slingshot attempt.
They're using what Blast did to them against them, their own strategy to pick up this tie. 28 seconds left, Blast. They could steal this away, though, off this amazing combat that Gravity have been able to pull off. If they just score one more time, it's going to be hard for Gravity to fight into this one. Again, the aggressive push. They're chasing down that disc. Gets ahead. Look who's by himself. It's Lone Gecko. That's a three-point. Sorry, he's not by himself.
No!
There. It's going to be Martin with the interruption. The disc is in the air. They stop the attack, and are we going for our first overtime today?
Lone Gecko's going to get stunned. Where's the rest of the team at? They're all but separated right now at this point. With Gravity getting it back, though, they're going to try to clear it back out. Bounces off the middle. Blast is still looking to take control, but it's looking like the time's going to run out before we even get an attempt at this. It's 1 second remaining, and with that, we're going to overtime. Potentially for either Blast moving on or Gravity getting eliminated.
That could have been Lone Gecko's moment right there. If he was able to score that 1v1 against Martin, that defense, that block was so key to keeping Gravity's hopes alive. But now it comes down to who scores first.
Key factor here as well is that the disc gets reset to a neutral position, so we have a new joust for control on the initial push out. Here we go. It's looking like Gravity get the speed again. It's contested, though. It's not secure for them yet. Gravity trying to throw a pass back. It's been sent into the open, though. But look how deep this is pushing into Gravity's territory now. They have to be careful as it's stolen away from them. They're going to attempt to go for a goal off the backboard. Won't work out just yet. Martin gets a nice clear over to Viatrex, but he's got nowhere to support him right now. He tries to send it up into the air in hopes of sending it further into their opponent's territory. Here's the two-man team.
Jersey!
Gravity going to go for a quick two-pointer, and they've got it. They're going to celebrate. They're going to dig it a little bit before they send it in, but Gravity will take the second round, 13-11 being the final score. And we are tied 1-1 to go to a third round to settle it.
I'm not sure if that's coming through the mics, guys. We do have the crowd chanting for Gravity there off that one. I have to wonder what is going on in the Blast camp. What happened? They had such a massive lead in this one. and then like 2 or 3 times in a row, they overextend, and Gravity are able to punish them off the strategy that was being used against them and make it work.
We were at like 11-5 or something in that neighborhood in the favor of Blast, and they just completely blew away the lead. All of a sudden, Gravity show up with this 2-man regrab team, for the most part being Viatrix and VR Jersey, just constantly scoring goal after goal after goal, even in overtime. The one that would win it all is the same method, just shooting their players across the arena and sinking many, many points that way. So that is going to take us to a third and final round to settle this series.
Yeah, look at that again, getting Jersey just ahead. He even gets to enjoy this moment. As you can see them celebrating before even scoring, knowing what was going on. Here it is right there from Martin, realizing that defense, that block he pulled off in the last few seconds against Lone Gecko on the one-on-one, it gave him hope, it gave him a chance, it got him a third game. And we'll be loading into this one shortly here, but honestly, with how that game was going, I was pretty calm. I was like, yeah, there's the 2-0. Like, I told you so, Blue. But they pulled it back in a way that almost should never have happened, showing that they never give up, they never surrender.
Especially after the way the first round went as well, seeming to go very one-sided in Blast's favor. This is a huge feat of strength here from Gravity to pull it back in such a convincing fashion as well. After even falling behind score-wise in the second round, it just looked like they were going to get absolutely run over here by Blast, but they've proved us wrong. And now Gravity have a chance to actually knock Blast out here.
Can they keep that momentum up? They're hyped up. They're going. It seems like Blast have been quiet this entire series. Haven't been really cheering or you know, chanting themselves on or really showing signs of enjoyment. Not necessarily enjoyment, but signs of exacerbation when it comes to making these goals, because it looked all too easy. Initially, the Gravity's going to get the joust, though.
Here's going to be the problem as well. Ooh, we have a big jumble of players. We've got 2 guys hugging each other here right now as they're going for stuns back and forth. VR Jersey just floating in the middle of the open. Sadly not leaving himself with much of an opportunity to do much here, so a pass will go off for Blast. Lets them get further control. An open opportunity to score gives Blast, once again, the opening advantage at 3-0 over Gravity.
I really feel like Boop's 100% from the three-point line whenever he shot. At least that's the way it's felt. Again, great little teamwork here between Appenterre and Boop, just passing between each other. You can see the momentum he had after being punched continued him going into the arena of Gravity, into their side of the map, and allowed them to get the repass back in and for Boop to be laid up for a nice three-pointer. So a 3-point slam dunk coming through. Sorry, I have to keep doing it. As now Gravity going to have possession.
The launch will come out here, and as you said, yes, Gravity will be starting out with it. Martin will more than likely grab the disc. There we go. We've got the 2-man team trying to move up the field. In fact, look at that. Viatrix running interference to stop Boop from taking it away from Martin. The problem is Boop's now going to be a huge thorn in the side of Gravity, but they're able to get past him quite quickly. VR Jersey now with the pickup is just going to float his way over there. Blast will follow him as this will come down to a fight inside of the 3-point bubble. Viatrix missing a bit of a pass there, though. He's got to try to move in quickly to retrieve it. But Blast are too quick. They've already cleared it back through the tunnel, and it's going to be a race once again.
And I think they're going to get there in time. At least get this first. They throw it in high ground. Boop again. Just want to point out something we did see. Lone Gecko was the guy in the goal defending for Blast. And then once Appenterre got stunned up when he was being, being aggressive and actually was able to help get a swat away from the disc, Lone Gecko then leaves the goal, and Appenterre takes it over for him. So great little, small communications like that to maximize everything, to min-max everything they can do in that situation.
Once again, possession going to be relatively close here between the 2 teams. Yeah, well, Gravity just doing it all right now here.
I don't know if that's Blast, like, not being good at stuns or just not caring about the stuns.
Hey, what's
guys,
up, guys?
for standing. How you guys
doing?
We're excited as you guys are.
I think that overall Blast are a little bit more focused on the mobility aspect of things compared to like trying to restrict their opponent's movement. But look at this, another opportunity opened up, this time for Gravity, as they get themselves an opening 3-pointer, and just like that, they're back in the game. We still have basically 4 minutes left on the timer as well.
Yeah, a lot of time left to go. Again, the aggressiveness. We asked ourselves earlier on, what can Gravity do to stop this aggressive play between Boop and Lone Gecko? And they've finally been able to do that. They've been finally able
hey, there you go.
Finally able to break through that massive aggressive defense that kept coming their way, and they're now putting points on the board. Blast, gotta be getting nervous. I can already see they're sweating, but for many reasons now, as they already had the game locked up in the last match, and now potentially on the brink of being eliminated here.
He's got himself moving forward
Gecko's
here.
Open.
Yep, quickly gets the pass over to him. Is going to be enough to score, though, as the other members of Gravity just quickly race over towards the goal. VR Jersey's grabbing onto his legs right now, so he'll go for the pass over to Appenterre. He sends it over to Boop. Boop will go for the security. He tried to pass it, actually, but it got intercepted by VR Jersey. So it's going back past the midpoint now.
Look at that. Vitrix just waiting up, making sure Jersey can get their time so they can get there with the slingshot. Vitrix is going to get there, keep throwing from the high ground. He's going to come back down, comes around the side. It doesn't matter. Boop gets the interjection. He gets the swat away, and it's just a constant punching. It's Fight Club. I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but it's happening here near the goal. It looks like Appenterre is finally able to get the disc picked back up. and throw it over to our teammate.
Martin trying to quickly fall back. Remember, he's alone, though. We can't get to that goal so quickly. An attempt to bounce it in. It's going to be off the diamond, though, so it won't make it. Martin should be able to pick it up. He might have to go up against Boop, though, and he knows it, so he quickly just gets rid of the disc, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Grabs it away from another member of Blast 2. Tries to re-secure it, but his teammates are nowhere to be found right now. Affentera picks it up.
Ooh.
Finally, we've got Viatrex and VR Jersey back in the arena, but they've got to fight on defense here now as the guys on Blast are setting up for a goal opportunity.
Affentera's open. There's no one here to defend. It comes down to who can get back to the other side of the map the quickest, and it looks like it will be Lone Gecko being launched back towards their defense to be the savior for their team, and now it has the potential to push up slowly. 2.5 minutes remaining left in this round. Loser goes home, winner gets through into tomorrow, and more importantly gets money guaranteed for themselves. Affentera going to be passed off to, looking for the shot, but he gets interrupted again. Viatrex is there.
Sneaking up from behind there to be able to take it right out of his hands and send it in his team's direction. They've got the two-man team. This is Martin, though. This is not what we've usually seen, and they're actually going to hold at the midfield instead of pushing all the way through. Boop somehow gets the interception, though, tries to go for the slot, but it's not going to work out. Bounces it off of the force field instead, but Gravity missing a pass. It is still going to go over into Blast territory, but it's a loose disc right now, so they won't even really chase it. They're just going to let Blast pick it up and see what they do next.
Yeah, time is starting to run out here. 2 minutes left to go as we approach the later ends of this match. Getting a little disengaged by Lone Gecko, throwing that disc as far as he possibly can as it does get bounced back towards him. All three players of Blast are pushed up. Affentera trying to play the anchor role for the team, trying to play a disruptor. Lone Gecko up by himself. He goes for the shot, but unfortunately it's going to be at a bad angle. Martin again coming up big in the goal.
As well, there's a quick pass over, but it's intercepted once more by Affentera. Sent over to his teammates. Oh, open goal, but it's a ding. So Gravity seem to have someone watching over them right now as it saved them for the time being. 1 minute and 20 left does not leave a whole lot of room open here for these guys to rescore and try to tie this back up. But they've got to get it out of their half of the arena right now. It's been stuck on the blue side for a good 20 seconds or so.
Oh, Affentera's on the high ground. You can see Lone Gecko trying to push us in. He's so dangerous in his close proximity. Affentera gets the shot. Martin's not able to block this one, and now it's a 4-point game between the two. Gravity, it's a 2-shot game to tie or take the lead. And the time is running thin. 1 minute left to go here, Blue. Such an intense match between these two players. You can hear the crowd. I think they're definitely on the side of Gravity. You can't count either team out just yet.
Gravity, though, are very, very low on time, and they need 2 goals regardless of whether they're 2 or 3-pointers to be able to either take the lead or try and tie this up.
Look at Viatrex, 19 stuns. The closest person next to him is Jersey at 5, and after that's Boop and Lone Gecko at 4. This man, he's throwing his own fight club.
Single-handedly has contributed to the stuns, and it starts it off, I believe, as well. No, that's going to be VR Jersey instead, or Martin. No, Martin getting aggressive as well. It's a bit of a change-up, what they've been using in the past, but this means all 3 players are out in the open. It's a good thing that pass to Affentera was a big miss, so otherwise we would have been looking at him getting a nice free clear. Gravity going to be pushing themselves forward once again, maintaining control at middle for right now. VR Jersey will be taking it back the other way. They've got to be careful, though, because Blast has been quick, and they've been sneaky, too. Bit of a panic clear, still ends up in the hands of Gravity, as now Viatrex sends it over to Martin to try and set up for a goal attempt.
They need to score. They need to score soon. 30 seconds left to go. They need to make a play happen because they have to do it twice. A 3-pointer would be great. A 2 will guarantee you some sort of chance to get back into this one. They fought the shot, but it comes in. It bounces off the ground. Viatrex from behind gets the shot and takes it to a 2-point game with 26 seconds remaining.
Nicely done from them. They do manage to bring it back, but they are not going to be left a whole lot of time. There was about 1.5 minutes left when this volley began. Now they're down to only 25 seconds, and their opponents are going to start off with control this time. This will be very, very difficult to pull off. They've already done it once, however, so we're going to have to see if they can do it a second time to try and eliminate Blast.
Here we go. The initial volley coming in. Blast. Are they going to delay our Gravity to go ham and go really aggressive? Let's find out here as they do launch across the map. Going straight in for that disc, and look how far Lone Gecko is by himself. There's no one there to defend. Sorry, I catch myself. Martin is going to be there, trying to stall for some time. 16 seconds to go. They have to get aggressive. They need to take this disc away. Lone Gecko looking for the shot. Boop's behind him. The goal, it's going to be so hard to defend this, but they're wasting time. They're forcing Gravity to group up on the actual goal, and there's only 5 seconds left.
So smart by Lone Gecko there. Basically just baits him into thinking it's going to be a goal attempt. Nice little fadeaway right there from Gravity to try and score a goal at the end, but it will be way off mark. So with that, our European team instead will be taking control of this matchup, moving forward further into the event.
I mean, to be fair, I considered Blast to be like the hands-down favorite in this one, and Gravity really took it to him, coming back in that second match after being down so far in points, and how quickly they adapted from the first to the second round. They definitely deserve the respect by everyone here, and they were definitely a pleasure to watch.
Series of the tournament so far. What an explosive one, and Blast is able to take the series in the end. But Gravity gave them a run for their money, and oh boy, did they not disappoint. Guys, what a way to end the day. That was phenomenal.
Such a crazy story of how exactly it happens, too. And we can see that both players giving each other some nice respect there at the end, as it was well earned by both teams, really. But we see the first round be so one-sided, so it seems like it's going to be just a straightforward 2-0.
Well, even the second round was, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was what? Like, I think it was like 11-4, 11-5, something like that. But then all of a sudden, just goal after goal after goal from Gravity in the second round brings them back. They win it in overtime due to a misposition from their opponents. And then the third round as well is neck and neck the entire time, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the first round obviously looked very, very one-sided towards Blast, of course. But then it really felt like Gravity was kind of feeling out their opponents and very much so learning how Blast was playing. Even when you saw Blast eventually conceding a goal and then being able to take the disc initially and have those set plays. The first set play looked easy peasy for them, but then the second and third set plays after that, Gravity adapted and was able to respond in turn.
Yeah, as we were talking about, like, what's the answer of Gravity here? Like, they see the aggressive play at a Boop and Lone Gecko. They see that two-man team constantly applying pressure to wherever the disc went, and they finally have that answer for it in, like, the second half of the second round, funny enough.
Exactly, yeah. And also, it was cool to see how, as you mentioned, you actually mentioned this very, very critically during the commentary there. Boop and Lone Gecko are usually the duo to launch each other forwards, but then Afentera and Boop, for example, were able to synergize just as well to get that kind of movement technique down, like to a science, because that is so important. When that clear comes in, you have to have that launch forwards to really capitalize on it, Blue.
And it very much just became, after that point, a lot of the time it just became a race between those two duos. It became who's going to get to the other side of the arena first after a disc was launched. And as we see here, at this point of the game is when Gravity started taking over. That's when they figured it out. That's when they were able to get Viatrex and VR Jersey together for this very impactful duo.
Honestly, you have to, I mean, even though Gravity do go home, and unfortunately they are short of the money, they have to be happy with the performance there against Blast, especially in that second round, the second match, to come back from that kind of deficit. We haven't seen that happen yet today, and I don't think I've seen that happen over the course that I've been casting Echo Arena. Really well done by them. I think they definitely prove they're a team that deserves to be here, and we're going to see them again, well, at least in the EU or the EU and the NA World Qualifiers.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. They really didn't disappoint when it came to this series. And especially, I think, the overtime, our first overtime of the tournament was absolutely crucial. And it's great to see that Gravity was able to keep themselves alive through that, Blue.
Yeah, and as well, just a huge momentum shift after we saw that overtime go into their direction, too. Because of that, they really woke up on the third round, and they were not pulling any punches after that point. Blast getting away with a few goals earlier on, though, did secure that lead, and sadly, the little cheeky strat at the end of just kind of wasting time at those last 10 seconds really sealed the deal for them and allowed them to hold control.
It was an extremely smart play, Jason.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing is, those little nuances, those little plays of like, hey, let's bounce it off the ground, because you saw Afentera like look down, like, okay, that's a missed shot. He doesn't have to worry about anything, and then you have a player behind him to quickly score thereafter. I mean, as a goalie, to have to like turn your body like that, because obviously you can't turn your head like an owl and see behind you. Turn your entire body. There's a delay time. You're shading. You're like, what? He's not now. It's very difficult to do. And again, with how like fast-paced this game was, and how like aggressive and how brawly, you can imagine people are going to get tired.
Oh, absolutely. And let's head down to the stage once again for our last interview of the day here to round out day number 1.
Oh, thank you, James. I'm here with the best defender, I believe, on the this side of the Pacific Ocean. We have Afentera of Blast. Now, the game started out with y'all run up the scoreboard, a little disrespect, a 360 dunk by Lone Gecko, and then an amazing comeback by Gravity. How did that feel coming up that comeback and thinking you might lose to Gravity?
Like a kick in the nuts. Basically, no, it was, they played hard for it. And it was like, it was a great match. I really like playing those. It's like heaven.
There's nothing like playing against somebody at your level where you think you might actually lose. I know that Lone Gecko came into this saying that he was a little too tired and he wasn't sure if he could keep up because he was starting to get the jitters. It could have just been nerves. It could have been tired. It could have been caffeine. It could have been a lot of things, but you guys seemed like you had it. You pulled it together, saved it at the last end, did some really good plays to save it. But now you're on a collision course with your old teammate from Jax back in the day, Slyn of Aftershock. What do you think is going to happen in that matchup?
Right now, we will win. We will win. We will. Yeah.
Look at him controlling himself. A man who's frequently out of control, keeping it together. And he's planning it's coming for you, Slyn and Maddie and Tutorial Bot. No scrubs themselves and really fought hard, and you guys have keeping it together in the lower bracket. And that means that one of you guys is going to face 11.5. I think you guys will face 11.5 again if you're able to hold it over Slyn. And this time, do you think that things will be a little bit different?
We know what they're doing now, at least at half of a pod. So we will come for you.
Now, granted, that's me making a little foreshadowing that Eclipse will be able to take down 11.5. They might not. We might get an upset and you'll have to take on Eclipse. But my money's right now is that 11.5, maybe their first run, it won't work out, and they'll go against you. And then we'll see the rematch against Eclipse to see what actually happens. Well, that's all from me and Affenterra. Back to you, James.
Thank you very much. Affenterra ist wunderbar for me. That is fantastic to hear from him. A very chirpy, happy fella. Session, yeah. Dankeschön, danke.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying he is.
It's all good.
You're
it's
all
all
right.
good.
You're all right.
Vaguely understood that conversation.
You've been in Germany how long now? A full week? And you don't know German?
It was more like 5 days because I came here 2 days ago. So
That's true.
Or 1 day ago.
I mean, I've been living there 6 years and I don't know German, and you lived there for 6 years and you don't know German.
Yeah, we're rubbish. Anyway, let's check in with the bracket here to get you up to date and up to speed with everything that has gone on throughout the day. As you can see, in the upper bracket, 11.5 and Eclipse have found their way to the winner bracket final, and they're going to head off in a best of 3 later on tomorrow. Let's move down to the lower bracket as well to confirm our suspicions of Aftershock and Blast have been able to keep themselves alive down there. They have 1 life remaining, but most importantly, they've made it into the money. The money. The money.
The what?
The money. Anyway, so that's a very, very good situation for them. Again, $12,000 on the line across those top 4 spots. And now it's really the jostling for position to figure out who is going to be able to take the right spot. What?
Might be able to say the joust for the position.
Ooh, that was nice.
I was expecting you to laugh at me for that one, actually. So
Topical. I like it. Very good. Very good. Well, gentlemen, that pretty much does it. A huge thank you for Intel joining us on this journey here for the VR League for Echo Arena. Gentlemen, last thoughts coming off today? Obviously, our last series was phenomenal. Any other highlights for you?
Last 2 series really were phenomenal. As that game we just had before that as well was really down to the wire and very intense as it was going back and forth pretty much the entire time for the first 2 volleys.
yeah, besides those games, Tutorial Bot's 1v3.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, that was cool.
1v3, he gets the interception, gets the double punch, and gets the score. That was great.
Yeah, I was loving that from Tutorial Bot. And Wit's interception.
Yeah, showing to never give up. Keep running. Keep hustling, son.
That's right. Never give up. Never surrender. That's a good motto to live by here for day number 1. A huge thank you for tuning in around the world here for day number 1. Don't worry, because tomorrow we're back. Same time, same place, 7:30 UK time. And from that point on, you can join us for the final moment of our bracket, our double elimination bracket, as it continues. So that's signing off from us. We shall see you tomorrow for more Echo Arena action.